I'm really happy to be here with you all, and in particular, to spend a little bit of time with you setting the stage for the discussion you're going to have that Sarah Fisher will moderate, and you're going to have our 4 new media partners up here talking about why they invested in the NWSL. What we thought might be an interesting setup is for me to share with you all how it happened that we were able to sign a 4-year landmark record-breaking media deal. I think everybody knows our new deal is a collective $250 million over 4 years. That's right. And as importantly, we went from what was 30 national broadcast windows to 120. And that's really important for setting the stage for how we're going to open the funnel and bring new fans into our audience. So how did this happen? How did we reset the value? When I was hired just about 2 years ago, one of the first calls I got was from Sean McManus, the head of CBS Sports. And he invited me to lunch and asked me, what can we do to show up as a good partner for you? At the time, they had all of our rights. And we told him that there were 2 things that were really important to reset the value and really right-size the monetization model around women's sports. The first was putting us on primetime. And in 2022, they partnered with us and Ally to give us a platform to prove what we all, I think, know today, that if you put women's sports in places and spaces where people watch live content, it will perform, people will watch. And we drew, in 2022, 915,000 people up against Game 1 of the World Series. And it was a moment where we all looked at each other and said, okay, this is something that we can work with when we go to market. The second thing we said was that we need the opportunity to test the market. We need a chance to hopefully bring you along for the ride, which we did, and you'll hear from Dan Weinberg, but really needed an opportunity to talk to everyone in the industry to make sure that we were valuing our content the right way. We can't continue to use old models and use historical data to predict the future because it feeds a cycle of undervaluing this content. And so they supported that effort, and we went to market and were able to achieve what we did. Some of the data that really drove the process included our attendance numbers. And I think everybody knows that the sports business is really, at the end of the day, yes, it's live content, but it's driven through attendance. Because when you watch on TV, you want to see the FOMO. You want to see people in the stadiums, in the arenas, cheering, screaming, showing their joy on display. And so that when you're home on your couch or you're on your phone running around, you feel that FOMO. And our attendance numbers have been eye-popping. And the one that I always point to as really the litmus test for the future of the NWSL is our average attendance, because showing that across all of our markets, we're able to deliver a consistent and reliable audience in professional venues that are 10,000 plus in terms of capacity is that average attendance per game, where we, in 2023, delivered 10.6 thousand fans per game for our entire regular season. That is debunking any vision or myth that people won't come watch women's sports. We also had good viewership, even though we had limited opportunities to be able to show our games in places and spaces where people watch live content. When we had the opportunity to perform, we showed that we had a growing audience. And this is really important in an environment across the media landscape where we like to say, flat is the new up, right? We know that it's very hard to hold an audience today with the fragmentation and bifurcation of audiences across all the different platforms, digital and linear. We were able to show that we had a growing audience, and not many properties have this story to tell. I guess last point of note here, and I know we're going to hear from Megan Rapinoe later, our best performing ever regular season game was Megan Rapinoe's final regular season home game, where we pulled the second most watched CBS game of all time. That's right. And finally, and I know there's a lot of brands in this audience, but you all are the key to right-sizing this model. Media properties, in order to make the investment decisions that they are making and wanting to make today, and the 4 partners you'll hear from today made with the NWSL, there needs to be a return on their investment. How do they deliver that return on the investment? Selling advertising to all of you. They need to be able to prove to their shareholders, to their bosses, that this is a business proposition. And that's super important because none of us see this as a charity. We expect and we want to deliver that value to our media partners. And these are the partners that we were able to tell all of the 4 partners will come to the table and spend money with you, and really proud to say that they are. So to the extent any of them are in the audience, huge kudos to you for believing in the NWSL and now delivering on what we promised to these 4 partners. And finally, I'd like to just end with a spot, because as you'll see in this ad, which our incredible marketing team produced, Julie Haddon's here, our Chief Marketing Commercial Officer. Yes, cheers for Julie. Who's really helping us to bring the glitter and bring the fandom and incredible enthusiasm around our game that is bringing joy and enthusiasm to everyone who is both watching on TV and coming in stadium. And most importantly, the question I get asked most often is, when you have 4 media partners, how do you ensure that your fans are not confused? The way we do that, and the way we have done that, is getting these 4 partners to understand that the rising tide will lift all boats. We need for them to cross-promote to each other, and what you'll see in this ad is the end card, which if you pay attention to all the ads that are running across ESPN, Amazon, Scripps, and CBS, they are all cross-promoting to each other. This is unprecedented in a property of our size, and it really is a testament to their belief in us and understanding that we need to grow our audience together, that we are not in competition with one another, and particularly in a world where we made the decision to be in a lot of different places to try to increase our reach, we needed them to support the cross-promotion that would be necessary to grow our business. So I'll leave you with this ad and then turn it over to the panel, and thank you all for listening.
Run with us.
We control the pace. From kickoff to equalizers, the 90th minute. PK after PK.
The next generation begins here.
World champions play here.
So run with us.
Don't stop until every loose ball
Cleared. Every touch under our control.
Every battle in the box is won. Need a second?
Don't worry. We got you.
If the game doesn't take your breath away, this way.
Or that.
Definitely that.
Got it? Your city.
Your kit.
Your GOAT of today.
And tomorrow. Or even your soon-to-be favorite team
Is kicking off.
We're only getting bigger.
All you have to do is keep up.